Okay, guys, second story of the night right here. This one is a lot more. What's the word? What's the word I'm looking here? I guess complicated is the word. Complicated and not so complicated is the word. Because the answer I think is pretty much direct, but I don't think the route to get there is so direct. Well, let's get into it, right? Is there any valid reason why my 32 female partner refuses to acknowledge my male 34 concerns for paternity or take a DNA test after an affair? Let's read that again, guys. Is there any reason why my partner, who's a 32-year-old female, refuses to acknowledge my concerns, he's a 34-year-old male, for paternity or take a DNA test after an affair? Yes, guys, you read that correct. As per the title, I discovered my now ex partner, which, by the way, I am glad that is my now ex partner. As per the title, I discovered that my now ex partner was having an affair with an ex while conceiving our first child earlier this year. It was obviously a punch in the guts for me, but I'm glad I found out when I did. Pulled out of our near completed house purchase together and told her I couldn't carry on together after what happened. As for this as for this sort of thing to happen while conceiving it felt like too much of a deal breaker I couldn't see trust ever coming back from. Before I ended things, I gave her three chances to at least acknowledge my concerns that I might not be the father anymore and need more than her word after being dishonest and unfaithful. Every time she blew up and closed it down completely, I've ended the relationship after that saying I'm still here for the baby if it's our baby. So he is taking responsibility if the child is theirs, right? But let's look at the small victories here. He caught it when he did. They did not purchase the house. So again, congratulations to the guy catching on when he did. Well, after saying I couldn't carry on with her, after this, I stood back for a while to watch what she did, and she vanished for months and wouldn't speak to me when I reached out. Saying even though we're not together, we needed to talk about the baby. Her family wouldn't speak to me either. By the way, this is very interesting, right? She went ghost for a couple of months, guys. What do you? Let me ask you guys, the reader. What do you or the viewer? What do you guys think was happening during these months, right? I'll give you my opinion. Where is it? That's what I think. That's what I think. But by the way, that says her ex. So last week she sent me a 4-page letter saying she wants to fight for us. Wow, how convenient, right? Last week she sent me a 4-page letter saying she wants to fight for us and the baby is the main focus now, and we need to rebuild trust for that. Saying she acknowledges my concerns, but there's still no offer to test to prove I'm the father. Interesting, right? I just don't understand what she thinks she's playing at here. I've obviously never been and never will be a pregnant woman, but I can't understand why she wouldn't want to take a test for either my peace of mind, her own, or the child's eventually, unless she knows I'm not the father. I understand I'm not dignified. It's not a dignified thing to have to do, but surely she can understand that as a mother, she never has to question if the baby is theirs or part of them. But we fathers do, and not knowing when a situation like this happens is absolute agony. A parental test is so easy to do and no risk to the baby with the new method. So why wouldn't you want to prove it and say screw you, I told you so? I know if I was her, I would. The baby is due in December, and I'd say, oh God, it's about to be due, right? The baby is due in December, and I understand she's probably feeling alone and vulnerable when I'm trying to my best to see her side of things here. By the way, this is him showing weakness now. See her side of things here, but surely she has to see why she needs to give me this one certainty back after she's completely blown up the relationship and our family and thrown all certainty into the air. I worry she's either too proud to do the test, insane, has no self awareness or empathy, or just doesn't know who the father is. Hoping for some female perspectives on this here, because right now I just can't see anything other than the worst case scenario. All right, my immediate thoughts right here, by the way, guys. Let's look at the bullet points, right? She was pregnant when she was having an affair, right? And odds are she was probably having the affair prior to her pregnancy. So this guy's concerns are 100% warranted. 100%, right? He's not sure if he's the father. Let's look at the wins too, right? He's not sure if he's the father, but he's doing the smart thing. And if it is my child, I want to take responsibility, right? For the child at the very least, right? I want to pull, like, I want to lift my side of the sofa. Very good thing is that he caught it before they completed a house purchase together. So he couldn't carry on together. So as of right now, they're exes, right? He told her he gave her 3 chances to at least acknowledge his concerns. I don't think this is him saying he was going to get back with her. I think what he's trying, I could be wrong. But I think what he's trying to say by right here is that he spoke to her 3 times of at the very least acknowledging my concerns or my fears of this may not even be my fucking kid, right? Now, I 100% think that she knows that it may not be his kid, but she don't hate me for this, guys, but I think a lot of women, I think people are just selfish in general, but I think some women can be very fucking vindictive or very fucking selfish to the point where it's even like cutting your nose to spite your face type of deal. Where right now she's willing to maybe even lie to the child about who their actual father is just to keep X-Man, which is X, by the way, is this guy to me, right? Just to keep X around or whoever this guy is around, right? So, in my opinion, I think this whole she went ghost for a couple of months was her trying to see if she can have a relationship with the ex. This is just me connecting dots here, by the way, guys. This, in no way, shape, or form, this is what really happened. This is just what I would assume happened, right? This whole time that she was pretty much ghost, vanished, finding herself, whatever the fuck, right? More likely than not, she was still getting dicked down by the ex, right? This right here, last week, she sent me a 4-page letter. I hope it was, front and back, by the way, right? That's a joke, guys, right? Obviously, what I'm trying to say by this is it's interesting to me that we as guys can accept so little as a forgiveness and still try to be there for that person, right? And what I mean by that is this. She was gone for months on top of cheating, but it took a 4-page letter for him to probably be reconsidering what they may be in the future. Which, again, as of right now, they're not a couple. So I'm glad that he didn't bend the knee immediately. But the fact that he isn't completely done with her still shows me that he may still be considering this whole relationship, right? Because why would you still entertain this bullshit, right? Aside from the child, which I 100% agree with, if it's your child, take care of your child. Fuck her. And that to me is a non-negotiable. Fuck her, right? She to me is the most she would ever be, if this is my child, is the mother of my child. Aside from that, there's no, she's, hey, do you, baby, right? Do you? But it doesn't seem that she's caring about taking a paternity test, or she gets upset about it, right? Why? Because she may already be knowing that you may not be the father of the child, right? I may have gotten knocked up by the ex, and the ex doesn't give a fuck, right? Hence why she came back after these months, right? So now the baby's due in December. We're in October right now, right? Again, it's not that she doesn't acknowledge or this or that. No, it's that. What's that word? Solipsism, right? Let's go look at that word. Solipsism. It means the quality of being very self-centered or selfish. The view or theory that the self is all that can be known to exist. I think a lot of women are that, guys. I think a lot of people are that. Narcissists are that. But I think women, especially in this case where she has very little probably or very much to gain, and I'm still gonna find a father figure for my child, even if you may not be the father, is why she's being this solipsistic, right? My advice to the guy is have the paternity test. I'm not sure what the legal grounds are wherever you live for this, but don't try to rationalize it, sir, because it's not about where is it that he was talking about he was talking about it's a safe thing, like it's a safe test, the baby won't be harmed, this, that, and the third. That's not her concern, brother. Her concern is, what if you're not the father and now I 100% lose you, as opposed to you may come back. Because again, this is the whole you are what you tolerate, right? How people treat you is how they view you. How you accept to be treated is how you view yourself. That's a reflection of how you view yourself. You are what you tolerate. If this is the type of woman you tolerate, that's because you in your mind may feel that that's all you can do. And again, I know every guy has been there where they've put up with bullshit. Women too, but I know we guys have put up with bullshit we shouldn't put up with for whatever reason. Maybe it's low self-esteem, maybe it's depression, maybe it's whatever. But we, it's gonna sound corny saying this, but there's a movie called The Perks of Being a Wallflower, and there's a line that I absolutely love, that goes, "We accept the love that we think we deserve," and despite it being, like a teen movie, that saying is deep and it's true. We accept the love that we think we deserve, and this goes for all humans, right? For all sorts of relationships. It doesn't have to be just a man female romantic relationship. It could be a friend relationship, it could be a family relationship, it could be a worker to like a worker to employer relationship. We accept what we think we deserve, right? So again, you are what you tolerate. Because if you had a friend, right, and every time you guys hang out, like every time you guys would hang out together, this friend would belittle you. They would, fuck up. Yeah, like take your food or bully you, whatever the hell. Would you be around that guy? No, right? You are what you tolerate. So again, this to me shows that this guy is still probably considering, uh, seeing if this relationship could be salvaged. Now, I'm not sure how much of it has to do with the child or her being pregnant, but I think he's putting himself too much in her shoes. I think he's having a little bit too much empathy for her at this point in time, where was it that he said it? Where he's saying that she may be alone, she may be sad or vulnerable, this, that, and the third. I think this is past that point right now, brother, where you're not supposed to have this sense of care for her. You know, I think the only responsibility you have, and that's if it's yours, is to that child, but not her, right? I I would pray, if I were you, my friend, that that is not my child. That's what I think would be the best case scenario. That child is not my child. And then you let her be on her own, whether to be a single mother or whether to find the father of her child to raise that child. But I would pray that's that's the case. That's what I would do. I don't I don't think that that being your child would be in your best interest, because at this point in time there is no trust in this relationship. And I think that the only thing that you're gonna end up getting from this is resentment, and yeah, you're just gonna grow some hate for her, you know. And every time she goes out, let's say she stays faithful after this, if it is your child and you try to work it out, in the back of your mind you're gonna have that feeling of, is she being faithful to me, right? Is she really going out with her friend? Is this, that, and the third? And it's more of a headache than it's worth when there are countless other women out there in the world, right? I don't think love is just finding the one. I think it's a compatibility thing. And right now, you may not be compatible with this woman. More likely than not, my brother, there's far more better compatible women for you out there than this. But what is it going to take? A little bit of elbow grease, right? It's going to take a little bit of work. Get yourself in shape, continue being in shape, continue putting yourself out there, right? When people say it's a numbers game, I do think part of it is a numbers game, right? You have to put yourself out there, right? The shot that doesn't go in is a shot you never take, right? Um, you have to put yourself out there and meet more women, meet more people, right? Because this relationship is not the one for you. It's not worth it. I don't think this woman is worth even a second thought. Like I said, unfortunately, it's just a woman that may or may not be the mother of your child. I think that's the only suck thing about it, is that the may part. I think that's the part that sucks. So this is why I say again, I would pray to God, if I were you, that this woman is not pregnant with my child. But to have my own peace of mind, I would get that paternity test or push for that paternity test, because I only want to be responsible for what I'm responsible for, right? Which, and again, that's my point. I would want to sleep assured knowing that it is not, or it is my child, as opposed to me not knowing, right? Because for plenty of reasons. One, I don't want to be a piece of shit. Two, I don't know what legal implications this may bring up in the future. Suppose you try to avoid it now, and suppose she puts your name as the baby's father, or whatever. Which again, whatever legal situations happen, I don't want to be what's the word, like left carrying the bag if it's not my kid in the future, right? So I want to be as prepared as possible. And knowledge is power. 100% knowledge is power. So go into this knowing, talk to a divorce lawyer, to an attorney, but go into this battle prepared. But don't go into it with the mindset that you can save her or that she is your responsibility. Again, only go to it knowing that she may be the mother of your child, and the only one you're responsible for is that child when it comes, right? But yeah, pray that it isn't your child. Do not get back with her, even if it is your child. That's a woman that's not worth giving a fuck about, quite frankly, brother. She's not. So that's my advice to you, man. Well, what about you guys, the viewers? I would like to know what you guys think of this whole situation. Let's actually look at some of the comments right here. Tell her she has to because he did say he wanted a woman's perspective in particular, so I want to see if any woman did right. But tell her she has two options: get a paternity test, or you will get a court-ordered test after the baby arrives. Don't send her any money, and don't sign anything until you have confirmation, which I do agree with this, right? If you could get a court-ordered paternity test, I think that's amazing. Yeah, stop being stupid and get your affairs together. The baby is likely not yours, so emotional distance yourself from this crazy chick. Get a lawyer, disengage until the test is done. Yada yada yada. So there's another one. Since the ex was silent for a few months, I would completely ignore her until the baby is born. Then I would get a quarter DNA testing. Yada yada. Well, again, guys, I'd like to know your perspective on this situation, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.